Honorable greetings to my fellow royals of Alubera, of Kairi, and every single space here on Mother Earth. Okay? Every single dimension as well too. Honorable greetings to every single one of you. So, it's been a while since I have done a recording, as well as, to also update what I have mentioned earlier in the month pertaining to $73 million being something that I demand from the corporate entity space. Not to be in a way where, okay, I'm here bullying or seeking to blackmail or any of the above. What I realized, however, is that it has raised a bit of attention, which is good. It is good because I know out there are beings who are actually paying attention to certain things. Additional to that, there has been like a series of questions being asked, pertaining to my appellation, my natural appellation, as well as even the terms that I would use as well too. Further also speaking of who I am in essence. All right. So as I have mentioned, who I am as Her Highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess M.D.A. Trinity L, also known as Tunica Maha'Bal. Okay, also beneficiary grantor, trustee of Tunica Maha'Bal, Indigenous sovereign. Okay, diplomat in my diplomacy. All right. So speaking further on these things, of who I am, as in I am that I am, and not just speaking about myself per se, I would also respond and also share a bit of insights pertaining to that. So in my natural energy state, as in me in my element energy state, in my proper person as well too, seeing that I am the mature being who is also responsible, also the head of state of my consciousness aside from the Most High, and things like that. And it's not where it is outsourced by an external element. I am the one governing here. I govern my mental in that aspect. All right. So when I say indigenous sovereign, okay, I am the indigenous being, and the sovereignty is the rite of passage of my liberation, the passage that I give right to. Always be in that liberated justice, is what I give will to. Will, where there is will, there is a way. So in my sovereign essence, it is just me also saying that this is what it is, my rite of passage in my liberated justice. Me being indigenous, me being the origin of what is, if you understand what I'm mentioning, what is in essence of who I am. Okay, as in the original form and not the copy or the replicate of who I am. All right. So, indigenous sovereign. Yes, indigenous sovereign. Indigenous referring to the natural state, the original form. All right. And even when I even mentioned about the Trinity being the forms of where we all exist from whence all of us came from, being the mother. All right. And it's to make the awareness of that and to recode that which has been utilized as a spell to somewhat make the mother seem subservient to the son. And in this aspect, mother is always there and the son sits on mother's lap. If you look at the blanket in the sky as well too, that we would see throughout the day, the sun would rise and still be on mother's lap, which is the blanket. He sits on her, even though he sets and returns to her in that aspect as well too. Okay, so in the laws, natural laws of nature, the divine laws, the divine laws, that the tribal laws would also be in alignment with the elemental laws. And folks even asked about my title being Allodial, and also Riparian, my Riparian right, you know, being the natural blueprint of the water blueprint of every single thing. Okay, water is the life. All right, it is just me already knowing who I am. All right, and this knowing has been a journey of learning and then realizing that, okay, it's not as applicable as I have solved it to be. So I would need to unlearn, to relearn, and keep that process going for the consistent flow of growth. All right. As the carbon being from where we all came from as well, the carbon copper being, I often would, you know, share certain things, speak on who I am in my as in my energy source, you know. My diagnostic energy algorithm is what I refer to as DEA, and there's also what others would utilize as well too as a term known as DNA. I would read it as diagnostic natural algorithm, or the nature's algorithm of who or what this being is. All right, every being has their own carbon print. All right, a carbon print, you know, similar to the snowflakes, you know, as I have also have ancestors in the snow as well. You know, I have ancestors that have been flying around the world. They flew around the world, okay, and they have been really abundant throughout the journey and throughout the span of life, you know, to this point in this present day. As I go in, you know, as I go through the day, everything is in great meditation. When I say meditation, you know, everything is a lesson of abundance, you know, and this is something I'm also really much grateful for, aside from anything else. All right, so when I mentioned about the primordial mother, the Trinity being the primordial mother from whence everything came, and the whole carbon to crystalline aspect being what is referred to as the Big Bang theory. All right, and other than that, with water also being life and the breath being life as well too. Water, when it is also added to some sort of heat, it turns into vapor, and this form of vapor is what is like the air that we breathe, the oxygen. All right, oxygen as well too. So her, as in the mother, has initially been responsible for every single thing that we have here today. So when I talk about my rite of passage as me being the energy state in control of my mothership referring to the vessel that I am utilizing here in this form here on planet Earth. All right, the vessel, it is my rite of passage. So speaking about also patriarchal is what is the agenda of the sons. And when I say patriarchal, it refers to something that is a replicate of what many things came from in origin. All right, so in patriarchal, what they utilize have came from the origin, as in the mothers, and yet still it is still a condition that somewhat creates a bit of a colonization at points, you know, as everything is not all across the board applicable to every single being and entity. Okay, so it is also a programming that has been utilized for eons, and this is the present moment where we restore and return it to the mothers, the matriarch from whence we all came. Okay, and that is just that. So pertaining to the 73 million, the ocean, the sea is the currency, the currents. All right, and the energy we have within us is the natural currency, as we are also 80% water, and the water as well that whenever we shed a tear is also somewhat like salt. Okay, so I will continue this as well as we go. All right, Much love.